So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, proudly in partnership with Falcon Contracting and Jam's Boxing Chat. And with me now, I've got two of my favourite fighters, and they are so different. I've got the silent assassin, as I call him, Aaron McKenna, and the absolute slaughter, Stevie McKenna. How you both doing? Are you all right?
Doing great, yeah. Keeping well over in Las Vegas at the moment. So
Yeah.
In preparation for my next fight, December 14th.
Yeah, it's not too far away now, and it seems crazy that it was August since your last fight, Stevie.
Yeah, and not too long ago. I want to be as active as possible, so bang out the fights, get the knockouts, and go on to the next one. So looking forward to this one. It's a big fight for me, so going to be a lot of eyes in it, and I'm looking forward to making another statement.
Bigger than your last fight?
Laws, he brought a lot of attention to the fight as well. It was always going to be a good fight, but this fight's going to be something similar. It's going to be even more, more spectacular. It's going to be a real fight, and I'm going for the knockout as usual.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, that has to go down as one of the fights of the year today. It literally had. I know Aaron would have been watching it thinking, don't do that. But it was one of those fights where you just kind of came head on with each other. And it was a case of who wasn't going to get up. Did you see it that way as well, Aaron?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable fight. That first round especially it's definitely one of the best fights I've ever seen live in the flesh. So
yeah.
What a fight it was, and it was a great performance by Stephen.
Because even as like his brother, surely were you kind of like, oh, why are you doing that? But then Stevie's exactly what he says on the tin, Annie. Don't get me wrong, people overlook your boxing ability because you're a fantastic boxer, Stevie. There's no doubt in it. But your explosive power, when you come forward, no one wants to be on the end of those shots today. And to be fair to Joe Laws, he stood there and he took some of the shots and gave back, didn't he?
Yeah, you have to give full credit to him. Even when he was hurt, he was still swinging bombs. But no one can stand, with me in the ring. You seen he went down 4 times, and it's hard to stand toe to toe with a guy that's almost 6'2", very physically strong, and doesn't get tired. I don't get tired in there. I can do that for 10 rounds. So it's going to take a real tough guy that will come and be able to trade it out with me and, be able to stick with it, because, I was only getting started in there. I was only starting to really hit a bit of form in the 3rd round. It was a proper fight, though. People was comparing it to Hagler Hearns and things like that. So it got a lot of good media coverage in UK and Ireland, and it had a lot of people talking. So come December 14th, I'm looking to do the same again. I'm looking to do it in devastating fashion as usual, and looking to make a big noise.
Yeah. Oh, I've got no doubt, Stevie. I've got no doubt. The way you do things, just absolute quality. And yeah, Lee Cutler, I don't think he knows what's coming, does he? Well, he probably does. But it's a case of how's he going to deal with it, isn't it?
Yeah, he knows it's coming, but what can he do? How does he keep me off him? How does he do things? Even if he tries to box and move, it'll only take 1 or 2 rounds. I'm very good at hunting people down. I can adapt and change things. I know every style possible there is to fight. I can switch things in a matter of seconds. So it doesn't really matter what he does. I'm not concerned about him. He'll be worried about me. He'll be worried about the shots. He'll be looking to get home safe to his family. And I'm fighting to do damage, and that's the game we're in.
I don't doubt it in the slightest. You frighten me just talking to you. Luke has had to turn around and put big fan of the two boys. Both do Ireland very proud, says Luke Byrne. Yeah, lads, there's no doubt. You are the ones to watch. I've said to you from day one, since the day we first met, that you two are both destined for world titles. There is no doubt no doubt at all. And I love what you both bring to the table, because you both bring something different. You're both talented in your own right. No one's riding off anyone's coattails. No one's in anyone's shadows. You're doing your own thing on your own path, and just quality. Your family must be proud. I know your fan base is growing every time you go into a fight, and massively proud of both of you, to be fair. Håkan, all the way from Sweden. Big up Joel, Aaron and Stevie. The love's there, lads. Big up Joel, Aaron and Stevie McKenna from Jam as well. So lots of love out there, lads. But Aaron, let's switch over to you. Great fight last out against Estella. So you're now in that sort of limbo of who's next, and you've been calling out some big names, and normally you're the quieter of the two. And I'm not saying Stevie's got a big mouth, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he's normally more vocal, isn't he? Where that might be different at home, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm at the stage now where I'm within touching distance with the big fight, so you got to do what you have to do to get the big fights over the line. And I want any of them world champions, Johnny Beck, Adamez, Lara, any of them. I think the middleweight division right now is dying, so I think it'll take someone like me to bring life to it. It hasn't been the same for quite some years now, but I think it needs a new stage of life, and it needs to have regular boxing, not just fights. These people that are fighting once a year, if they're lucky to see you out twice a year, and Lara, no one knows where he is. He only fights like every 18 months, so I think I'll be the one to take over the division.
So who do you want next? Because obviously we've heard a variety of names. Or who does Stevie want you to fight next? Stevie, who would you like to see your brother fight next?
I'd like to see him fight any of them world champions. I think they're all.
I knew you were going to say
that. It doesn't matter which one of them. I know Aaron would wipe the floor with all three of them. Or four of them, any of them. So it's just about getting one of them into the ring. That's going to be the hard part. So once Aaron gets a world title, and then he'll be in the driving seat, all the guys will have to come to him. So that's the big fights Aaron wants, and he's more than ready to take his chance now.
Because I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's getting yourself in a position where you can't be ignored any longer, isn't it? That's the golden thing, isn't it? Because you see a lot of people who, we're seeing it in the heavyweight division at the moment, for example, with Bacoli. I think prime example. If you haven't got that world title, or you haven't got that number one position, then people always find a way of trying to make fights around you or avoiding you, where you're now aligning yourself in a position where people can't really do that anymore, can they?
Yeah, people are masters at knowing how to turn down fights and saying the right stuff, but I want to get into that position now where they can't turn me down or they have to fight me. So I'm very close now to that stage. I've had a couple of big wins in my last few fights. 2 undefeated fighters I've beat now, so I'm very, very close to getting them fights, and I believe it will happen, and I believe I will become unified world champion in middleweight division.
Yeah, 100%, mate. So when are you hoping to get back out next?
Sooner rather than later. You know me, I'm always training. I'm over here in Vegas at the minute. I have no fight date, but if I used to fight like within a couple of weeks, I'd be able to fight anyone in the world. So that's the way I like to be. I like to keep myself in shape. So if I do get that big opportunity, I'm ready. Yeah,
no, definitely. And Jammer said, with Adamez looking likely to be fighting Hamza in February, that can't be made. But would the Janibek fight interest you, and where would you like it to happen? So only a small question there, Jam.
Yeah, well, if he's fighting Adamez, if it's looking likely, then I'd fight Johnny Beck or Lara, and then the winners can face off to unify. Like, that'd be exciting for boxing. It's hard to see stuff like that. Like, so I think it would be exciting if something like that was to happen, or Adamez fought with Hamza, and then I fought any of the other 2 world champions, and then have a unification fight.
Yeah, yeah. And Janibek's very much the avoided guy as well, isn't he? Let's be honest. I think he is the other avoided guy in that division, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he claims to be on Twitter, but I don't know if he is. Like, his last few opponents all seem to have been cherry-picked, and he seems to give out this thing that he is the most avoided, but I don't think he is. I've been calling him out a good few times now, and he hasn't once replied, but yet he says no one's challenging him in the middleweight division, so
Yeah.
he's just telling blatant lies. He gives this persona that he is, but he's just a super middleweight squeezing down to fight at middleweight. He's afraid to move up.
Yeah, yeah. Like Jam said, he chats a lot, but never seems to back it up, does Janibek?
Yeah.
Where Aaron seems to be, you know. But well, to be fair, both of you lads, you know, you've always called for your fights. You've always pushed for fights. You've never hidden away from anything that's come your way. And I think that's why you're both popular, because you're both real. You're both honest lads. You know, anyone that's come along, you've always beaten the person in front of you. There's never, oh, you know, I could have gone down this route. You just want to fight. You want to stay active. You want to be out there. And I think that's why you're so well appreciated, to be perfectly honest, lads. And
Yep. Well,
I can't wait.
Like, people want to see the best fighting the best. They don't want to see people just fighting once a year or once every 18 months, especially the world champions. They want to see the number ones and numbers twos fighting the best. So I think that's what we bring. We don't turn down any challenge, and whoever they come to us with, we accept straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely. 2 of the very best in boxing are the McKenna brothers. True boxers with nothing but boxing in their minds. Oh, if there's 2 examples out there of eat, sleep, boxing, repeat, it's you 2. 100%.
Live and breathe this game our whole lives, so it's all we know, boxing, and we're gonna go to the very top. So
before I let you go, lads, because you know, we have to chuck something at you. Someone's just put loving Stevie's shirt too. Oh, bleeding heck. Well, we'll discuss it another time, Stevie. There's some things you get wrong, mate. But I ain't getting into a fight over that. What's that?
Top of the league.
Oh, don't you start. I don't need you doing that as well. So, yeah, obviously, fights still for the rest of the year yet. What fights are you looking forward to seeing? Obviously, we've got the big one in December between Usyk and Fury again. How do you see this one going?
It's going to be a great fight again. The last one was very, very entertaining. You know, Tyson was in control of the fight and then just caught. But in the rematch, I think if Tyson uses his size and his he's a lot bigger than Usyk, I think Tyson will beat him in the rematch. I think it's a big fight, but it's going to be tricky. You know, Usyk's an unbelievable fighter, but I think if Tyson puts the pressure on him, you know, he'll get the win.
Aaron, same thoughts?
I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be another very close fight. The last one, I think Tyson was in control right up until the later rounds, and then Usyk just picked up the pace a bit. But I think Tyson knows now what he has to do, what he has to change and adapt to it. I think he will do it this time.
Yeah. Well, as I say, it's an absolute cracker, and I think either way, we wouldn't be shocked. There's no shock in that fight, is there? Do you know what I mean? Whatever way that goes, that you've got 2 class acts, haven't you, that have their own abilities. And as I say, Usyk has kind of shocked the heavyweight division, really. I think everyone expected him to come up and do well, but to do what he's done is just shows how incredible the guy is. But we've had one last question, Aaron. Who do you support in footy?
Liverpool.
Oh, goodness, don't you start as well.
You must be a United fan, are you?
Oh, come on, mate. I've got a bit more taste. I'm a gooner. So I've suffered for many years, so you should really let us have this one. Do you know what I mean?
you'll suffer for a few more anyway. Back to your old
Shut
self.
your face up.
Thanks, lads. Much appreciated. You know who your mates are. But honestly, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best. All the best, Stevie, for your fight in December. No doubt you're going to go in, turn him over like you always do, and show people what you're made of. It's exactly what you are. Incredible fighter. Love watching you. Keep up the good work, mate. And Aaron, yeah, let's hope those big fights come, mate, because you really are. As I say, I don't think you're even knocking on the door. I think you're just waiting for those people to come along now, because you're already there. You know, you're already there. I think both of you are just so talented. And yeah, just keep up the good work. And like Jam said, big up to Coach Virgil. Big shout out to him as well. Thank you very much for arranging this. And lads, keep in touch, and I'll speak to you both soon. But yeah, here we go, lads. It's
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Speak
that
soon.
no trouble at all. And yeah, as I say, keep in touch. And yeah, when Arsenal are top of the league, mate, we'll speak again.
Be a long time waiting on that.
Thanks, Aaron. On that note, speak to you soon. Take care, lads. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.